best Irish music on irishradio.org with Jerry Byrne.
Irish Radio, I'm Jerry Byrne. Now, since the onset of COVID and everything else, we've been speaking to many of the great and the good, and boy, we've got a lot of great and good and incredibly talented people involved in music in Ireland. My next guest is a gentleman who started out as a very, very young man, playing with Sean Cuddy. Now, he's since played with Jimmy Buckley and also Michael English, and done numerous other appearances, session work and everything else. I'm delighted to say hello from his home in Letterkenny in County Donegal to James Mullen. James, how are you?
Hiya, Jerry. How's things? It's great to join you today, and thanks for having me on.
A real pleasure, James. A real pleasure. Tell me this: you joined up in music at a very young age with Sean Cuddy.
Yeah, well, I suppose, Jerry, it kind of started out for me. My musical journey probably started when I was about 6 or 7. I remember getting a guitar for Christmas one year, and I suppose then I kind of dabbled a bit in that, and then eventually I went to guitar lessons with a man who's since passed away here from Staban, Hugh Blee. So I spent a few years with him studying guitar and obviously doing education and stuff at the same time. And then eventually then, when I was about 15, I got the job with Sean Cuddy through my Uncle John, actually, who I believe you spoke to there a few weeks ago on the show.
That's right, yes indeed, John McHugh.
Yeah, John McHugh, yeah. I was kind of lucky to have him as a mentor, you know, and he introduced me to Sean and obviously got me the job with Sean then, you know, when I was 15, so it kind of started there, Jerry.
Fantastic stuff, it really is, and it's excellent. I mean, John McHugh is was a master musician. He really is, and
such a talented man, you know, and he's an incredible musician, you know. So as many of your listeners would know, I suppose.
Indeed so. Now you played with Sean Cuddy. I mean, it's a very, very young age. I mean, 15 to start off with in a professional band.
Yeah, well, I suppose it was always kind of in the blood, you know, Jerry. I suppose from a young age, it's all I really ever wanted to do was play music, to be honest. And as much as my mother and father probably had their concerns about me, you know, going down that line at such a young age, I think they knew at the same time too they were kind of, you know, on a bit in docket, for want of a better word. You know, it's all I ever really wanted to do, you know. So. And you know, thanks to Sean himself, you know, for giving me the opportunity at that age, I was able to do it as well, you know. So,
indeed, it was a great. I mean, that was a fantastic apprenticeship. I mean, wow, like you were right in on the deep end, the professional band. Yeah. You know, it must have been an incredible learning curve from 50.
I suppose I had to grow up very quickly, Jerry. You know, I was in the company of, you know, grown adults, you know, and grown men, and you know, you adapt to your surroundings. I kind of had to grow up quickly and, you know, learn life lessons. And thanks to Sean as well. You know, Sean, he looked after me very well, and for kept me on the straight and narrow. You know, so yeah.
Indeed, that was absolutely excellent. Now, then you moved on. I believe was it to Jimmy Buckley's band?
Yeah, so I spent 5 years with Sean, and then when I was about 20, I remember joining Jimmy Buckley then. So I was with Jimmy for 7 years. It was a great experience. You know, a lot to thank Jimmy for as well. You know, it was Jimmy, and still is, you know, one of the most high-profile artists here in Ireland. And it was just, you know, it was incredible for me to get that job at, you know, again, you know, I suppose a fairly young age. And, it was a great experience. Them 7 years were just phenomenal for me, you know.
Indeed, another fantastic experience with another incredibly successful and professional artist. And then after that, you moved to the Michael English band.
Yeah, so then most recently, I would have been touring with Michael then for, I suppose, 5 years then. Again, great times, seen a lot of the world, and, you know, played in some of the country's biggest venues, I suppose UK's biggest venues, and further afield as well. And, you know, Michael again is a great musician, great man, you know, and, you know, again, great times, Jerry, you know.
Indeed, so it's been one it's been one roller coaster of a career in music for you, James. But the thing with your last project and the what you're sort of doing at the moment, albeit not performing, is a band called Matrimony.
Yeah, well, back at the end of 2019, I made the decision that I was going to start my own band. So it was kind of something that I had in my head for a while, Jerry, and myself and my partner here, my fiance Anya, we had a little girl then, and I suppose the hardships of the road and home life, it's kind of hard to for the two to run alongside each other at times. It's hard to be away from your family, and I suppose I just had it in my head that I would go down a different route, and then that's kind of how Matrimony came about then, Jerry.
Yes, you were just kind of getting the act together with the band. Matrimony, a clever name, I'll have to say. For you were sort of going to concentrate on work for weddings.
Well, that's it. Predominantly weddings, Jerry. But I'm very lucky that the guys that I have on the band with me are they're all from the kind of a country music background as well. They're seasoned musicians. On drums there, I have Michael Medine. I'm sure you're familiar with Michael. He would have played with Robert Mazzell and Jimmy Gilligan. I also would have worked with Lee and Jimmy's band. And on lead and steel, I would have Stevie Hamilton there. Who, before he would have again worked with me and Michael English's band, and he's played with Daniel O'Donnell and as well as many other big names here in Ireland. So, and then Brian Kerrigan, who I believe you had on a few weeks ago there.
Yes, indeed, yes.
Brian plays keyboards in the band too. And then from the band we have David James, who is actually a radio presenter here in Donegal, behind radio 5 days a week.
Yes,
and,
indeed. I spoke to David.
Band, so.
Yeah, I spoke to David on the programme a couple of times, and Stephen Hamilton actually playing his latest song, which is going an absolute storm, Forever Young. And I spoke to Stephen on the programme back in first lockdown. So I know Stephen well for many years.
Stevie would be well known in the circles, all right, and a great guy,
Indeed, I mean that is. I'll have to say, that is some lineup of people in a band.
Well, it is. We're very lucky, to have. I suppose we're very lucky to have each other. We know the ins and outs of what people want. Bride and grooms can have a lot of confidence in booking us because we have that wealth of experience. We know what we're doing. We know, what crowds want and stuff like that. And. Yeah, so thanks be to God, it's a great unit,
Indeed it is. I mean, I dare say, if we were to add up all the years of experience the whole lot of you have, it's truly phenomenal. It really is for over the years. Like it's absolutely incredible. And unfortunately, you were just sort of getting the thing going, and then COVID struck in March.
Well, that's it. Last year would have been a great year for us, and we were really starting to make inroads, and stuff like that. And then, I suppose like everybody else, everything came to a standstill. So, we were, I suppose, what do you do? Only sit around and wait for things to come back to normal. But, we released a single there recently. I think you have it there, Little Bitty Pretty One. I believe you're playing it.
Yes, indeed. Yes, I am.
And, we're just trying to keep the name out there, and so eventually when we do come back, people won't forget about us and, check us out, and hopefully, if they have anybody that's getting married in the family, they might give us a shout and stuff like that,
Indeed. So that is excellent, James. Listen, well done. It's been lovely to chat to you, and listen to yourself and the family. Stay safe and well, and listen, as soon as it's safe to do so, I'm looking forward to catching up with you guys on stage someplace along the way.
Yeah, Jerry, thanks a million for having me, and continued success to yourself, and take care.